on an alien planet.
We're the furthest out anyone's ever been. Who could attack?
Bad news.
There's only 4 days.
There is no air left.
Do this.
The Ark and the Aardvark is one of those animated films that stands out because it takes a familiar biblical tale and reshapes it into something lighthearted, adventurous, and filled with humor and heart. Instead of focusing on the well-known figure of Noah as the central hero, the story shifts its attention to an unlikely protagonist, an Aardvark who is unexpectedly given a critical role in one of the most important journeys in history. By telling the story through the eyes of an underdog rather than a legendary figure, the film brings a fresh perspective to a narrative that audiences have heard countless times before. The Aardvark at the center of the story is not a warrior, a leader, or someone known for bravery. He is a simple worker, often overlooked by others and rarely taken seriously. His life before the Great Flood is quiet and predictable, filled with routine tasks and little recognition. This ordinary beginning is important because it makes his eventual journey feel more meaningful. When the responsibility of organizing and guiding the animals onto the Ark falls onto his shoulders, it comes as a complete surprise not only to him but to everyone around him. The animals question why someone so timid and seemingly insignificant would be trusted with such an enormous task. As the flood approaches and preparations for the Ark intensify, chaos begins to spread among the animals. Each species has its own habits, personalities, and disagreements, making the process of gathering them into one place incredibly difficult. The Aardvark is suddenly forced into a leadership role he never asked for, trying to keep order among creatures much larger, louder, and more confident than he is. This situation creates a mix of comedic moments and genuine tension, as his awkward attempts at authority often lead to misunderstandings, arguments, and unexpected accidents. Despite his lack of confidence, the Aardvark begins to show small signs of courage and cleverness. Instead of using strength or intimidation, he relies on patience, empathy, and problem-solving. He listens to the animals' concerns and tries to find solutions that make everyone feel heard. These moments reveal that his quiet nature is not a weakness, but a different kind of strength, one that allows him to connect with others in ways a more aggressive leader might not. The film uses these interactions to highlight the idea that leadership does not always come from power or status, but from compassion and determination. The journey toward the Ark is filled with obstacles that test both the Aardvark's abilities and the unity of the animals. Some creatures refuse to cooperate, others try to take advantage of the situation, and a few even doubt that the flood will truly come. These conflicts add depth to the story, showing that the real challenge is not just reaching the Ark, but convincing everyone to trust the process and work together. Through these struggles, the Aardvark gradually earns respect, not through grand heroic acts, but through persistence and honesty. One of the film's most entertaining elements is the wide variety of animal characters, each designed with distinct personalities and comedic traits. There are proud lions who believe they deserve special treatment, mischievous monkeys who turn serious moments into playful chaos, and cautious turtles who move so slowly that they constantly risk being left behind. These characters create a lively dynamic, and their interactions with the Aardvark often lead to humorous situations that keep the story engaging for younger audiences while still delivering meaningful messages. As the animals finally begin boarding the Ark, the atmosphere shifts from frantic preparation to emotional reflection. Many creatures are leaving behind their homes and familiar environments, unsure if they will ever see them again. The film takes time to acknowledge this sense of loss, adding a layer of emotional depth that balances its humor. The Aardvark, who had once been content with his simple life, now feels the weight of responsibility for every life on board. This realization marks a turning point in his character development, as he begins to see himself not just as a helper but as someone whose actions truly matter. Once the Ark sets sail and the floodwaters rise, the story transitions into a different kind of adventure. Life aboard the Ark is cramped, noisy, and often chaotic. Animals that once lived in separate habitats are now forced to share limited space, leading to arguments, misunderstandings, and occasional panic. The Aardvark must now manage conflicts in an environment where there is no escape and no room for error. This part of the film focuses on themes of cooperation and adaptability, showing how the animals gradually learn to live together despite their differences. The storm itself is portrayed with dramatic visuals, contrasting sharply with the film's earlier lighthearted tone. Dark clouds, crashing waves, and flashes of lightning create a sense of danger and uncertainty. The Ark creaks and sways under the force of the water, reminding everyone on board that their survival depends on the strength of the vessel and the unity of its passengers. In these moments, the Aardvark's calm and steady presence becomes crucial, as he helps reassure frightened animals and keeps panic from spreading. During the long days and nights at sea, the film explores the relationships that develop between animals who were once strangers. Predators and prey who would normally never coexist peacefully are forced to trust one another. These unlikely friendships become one of the story's most touching elements, illustrating how shared hardship can break down barriers and create empathy. The Aardvark, acting as a mediator and organizer, plays a key role in fostering this sense of community, further proving that his gentle nature is exactly what the situation requires. The narrative also includes moments of introspection for the Aardvark as he reflects on how much his life has changed. He begins to understand that being chosen for this task was not a mistake but a recognition of qualities he had never valued in himself. These quiet scenes, often set during calm nights on the Ark with the sound of rain in the background, allow the film to slow down and focus on character growth. They show that heroism does not always involve dramatic battles, but can also be found in perseverance and emotional strength. As the floodwaters eventually begin to recede, hope slowly returns to the Ark. The animals grow restless and eager to see land again, dreaming of open spaces and fresh air after weeks of confinement. The Aardvark, however, remains cautious, knowing that their journey is not truly over until they find a safe place to rebuild their lives. His sense of responsibility continues even as the immediate danger passes, showing how deeply he has embraced his role as a leader. The moment when land is finally sighted is portrayed as both a relief and a celebration. Animals cheer, cry, and express joy in their own ways, creating a scene filled with emotion and color. The Ark comes to rest, and the doors are open to reveal a transformed world, quiet and washed clean by the flood. This moment carries a sense of renewal and possibility, suggesting that while much has been lost, there is also an opportunity to start again and build a better future. The Aardvark's journey comes full circle as he steps onto solid ground, no longer the timid and overlooked worker he once was. The animals who had doubted him now look at him with gratitude and respect, acknowledging the role he played in their survival. This recognition is not presented as a grand ceremony but through simple gestures and heartfelt interactions, keeping the film's tone sincere and grounded. The Aardvark himself remains humble, still surprised by how much he has changed and how far he has come. Throughout the film, humor remains an important element, preventing the story from becoming too heavy despite its dramatic premise. Visual gags, playful dialogue, and exaggerated animal behavior keep younger viewers entertained, while the underlying themes of courage, teamwork, and self-belief resonate with older audiences. This balance allows the film to appeal to a wide range of viewers, making it both an entertaining adventure and a story with meaningful life lessons. The animation style supports the film's tone by combining bright colors, expressive character designs, and detailed environmental effects. The Ark itself is portrayed as both massive and fragile, a wooden sanctuary floating in an endless ocean. Rain, waves, and storm clouds are rendered with enough realism to create tension, while the animals' exaggerated expressions maintain the playful atmosphere typical of animated storytelling. This visual contrast helps the film shift smoothly between comedy and drama without feeling inconsistent. By the time the story concludes, the Aardvark's transformation is clear. He has gone from being someone who doubted his own worth to someone who understands the value of kindness, patience, and responsibility. The animals disperse into the new world, carrying with them the lessons they learned during their time on the Ark. The film suggests that survival alone is not enough. What truly matters is how individuals treat one another during times of crisis and how they choose to rebuild afterward. The Ark and the Aardvark ultimately tells a story about unlikely heroes and the idea that greatness can come from the most unexpected places. By focusing on a character who is neither powerful nor confident at the beginning, the film allows audiences to see themselves in his struggles and growth. His journey becomes a reminder that leadership is not about being the strongest or the loudest, but about stepping forward when needed and doing one's best, despite fear and uncertainty. Through its mix of humor, adventure, and he,